All right, before we dive in, let's get the important stuff out of the way. This is all for educational purposes, okay? It is absolutely not financial advice. Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a chart that tells a much deeper story than just the price you see on an exchange. We're breaking down the PLAZM to eSHARE ratio, and more importantly, why its recent moves are this massive sign that the protocol is firing on all cylinders, just like it's supposed to. So if you're like most of us, your eyes are probably just glued to that USD price ticker, right? And look, that's important. I get it. But what if I told you there's another chart, another metric that tells you way more about the actual health of the whole ecosystem? Yeah, that's the real story we're going to unpack today. And here it is, the PLAZM to eShare ratio chart. So instead of pricing PLAZM in dollars, this thing prices it in eShare. It's like an internal health check, measuring PLAZM's strength right against his partner token. And lately, wow, it started to tell a really compelling story. To really get what's happening, we need a starting point, right? So let's rewind to late January. The ratio was kind of hanging out around 0.0037. That's our baseline. Just lock that number in your head for a second. Okay, now fast forward to today. Look at this. The ratio's climbed past 0.0041. Now, I know that might look like a tiny decimal change, but trust me, in the world of tokenomics, that is a huge move. It's a crystal clear signal that PLAZM is getting stronger against eShare. So what is this ratio, really? It's actually super simple. It just answers one question. How much eShare does it cost to buy one PLAZM? That's it. And when that number goes up, it means PLAZM is outperforming eShare. It's winning the internal tug-of-war. And that is a fundamentally bullish sign for the whole protocol. Okay, so the big question is, why now? What's the engine driving this strength all of a sudden? Well, the answer is a really crucial phase in the protocol's life. It's called normalization. And normalization isn't some random event, It's a completely designed process. See, after those initial high-release phases end, the daily supply of new tokens hitting the market just drops off a cliff. And when that happens, that constant sell pressure, it just evaporates. This allows the whole system to find its natural, sustainable balance. And when I say the drop is dramatic, I am not kidding. The daily token releases have plummeted by over 97% from their peak. Just think about that for a second. It's like this massive weight was holding PLAZM down and it's suddenly just gone. But that's not all. At the exact same time that new supply is slowing down, the existing supply is actively being reduced. Over 1.2 million PLAZM tokens have been permanently burned. That's 17% of the total supply just wiped off the map forever. And that directly supports a stronger ratio. And it doesn't even stop there. On top of that, another 2.52 million PLAZM tokens, that's 37% of the supply, are locked away in staking. These tokens aren't on the open market, they can't be sold, which just squeezes the available supply even more. So this is where it gets really cool when you see how it all stacks up. You've got release pressure down by a massive amount. You've got a huge chunk of supply burned, another giant chunk staked. Then you add in the constant buy support from the protocol's defense mechanism, and what do? You get 4 powerful bullish forces all pushing in the same direction, all working to pump up that PLAZM to eShare ratio. So the key thing now is for you to know how to spot this strength on the chart for yourself. So let's break down the classic signs of a bullish structure. That way, you can look at this thing like a pro. And this lays it out perfectly. On the left, this is what we are seeing. We're seeing higher highs, where each peak is above the last one. We're seeing higher lows, meaning the dips aren't as deep. And we're seeing a really strong recovery from stress. I mean, look at the bounce after that recent weekend crash. Now on the right, that's what we're not seeing. That weak, bearish pattern of lower highs and lower lows, nowhere to be found. Okay, now let's talk about how this all connects to you. Because this isn't just numbers on a chart, right? It has a real impact. An impact that many of you in the community have actually started to notice, especially when it comes to your staking rewards. This quote right here from a community member is just spot on. It perfectly captures what's happening. They notice their staking rewards are getting better, but another metric, the creation ROI, has barely moved. And guess what? That's not a coincidence. That's the system working exactly as it should. So here's the why. Your staking ROI is getting better because as that PLAZM to eShare ratio climbs, the PLAZM tokens you're earning are simply worth more eShare. They just have more buying power.
Meanwhile, the creation ROI, that's designed to change super slowly to keep the whole system in balance. So seeing one improve while the other stays stable, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It's the sign of a healthy, strengthening protocol. It's the beginning of a really powerful, virtuous cycle.
All right, so with all this positive data piling up, what does the near future look like? Well, because the protocol schedule is totally transparent, we can make a pretty educated guess about why this trend is very likely to continue. Just take a look at the upcoming release schedule. After a short period of kind of moderate releases, look at day 135. Only 17,000 tokens are going to be released. That is a historic low. And from day 136 on, the releases enter this phase of sustained decline. I mean, that is a major catalyst just around the corner. So let's just boil it all down. What is this chart screaming at us? Number 1, PLAZM is getting stronger against eSHARE. 2, normalization is working exactly as planned. 3, your staking rewards are getting more valuable because of it. 4, the burns and staking are doing their job, crushing that sell pressure. And 5, look, this isn't hope, it's not speculation, this is the protocol executing its design flawlessly, and it's all backed by cold, hard data. So the big takeaway here is simple. Watch the ratio. I mean, the dollar price tells you how the market feels about crypto today, but the ratio tells you if PLAZM is winning inside its own ecosystem. And right now, all the data, all the patterns on the chart, they're all pointing to the same thing. It is absolutely winning.
0.0037, 0.0038, 0.0041, higher highs, higher lows, recovery from stress. That's not wishful thinking, that's the chart. That's normalization working. That's the protocol doing exactly what it was designed to do. And now, you know how to read it.
And just to wrap things up, one final reminder, this has all been for educational purposes. It is not financial advice. Please always do your own deep research before making any kind of financial decision. Thanks for tuning in.